Buonasera a tutti. I have a different. I think I can show you a different view from the pitchcode technique. Although we're going to talk about branchless devices, I have to show you some cases with the pitchcode technique. I don't have the same experience as Melisano and Greco. You're going to see here. Those are my disclosure. I like to comment that because in 2008, we described this in Journal of Vascular Surgery. And in my view, I think that is the first time someone has mentioned the coincidence of all the branches. So we did at that time 11 cases, but we planned the 23. So based on 23 cases, we did this watch-like in all the branches here. I think that's the beginning for the branch devices. Later on, Jim did this study, quite promising, with 80% of the patients eligible for a branch device off the shelf. So we are talking here about patients like that. They have previous devices implanted, and then you have to cover all the aorta, including like this one, we cover the ascending aorta. So patients more complicated. But I like to start always with this Zolli. I'm not sure if Dr. Zolli is already in Italy or is still in New York, but this work he published in 2010 in Annals of Thoracic Surgery with Dr. Grip. It's very interesting because after open surgery, even with all the false lumen thrombosed, in 25% of the cases, they still develop an aneurysms. That means, which we know for a long time, since people described that even thrombosed in 2001, infrarenal aortic aneurysms can rupture because thromboses do not protect of growing, do not protect. And that's the reason I do not believe in the, this, how you say that, laminar flow, the the device. Cardiac device. I do not believe it because that allows the pressure dissection. And in my view, the petticoat is quite similar. So I show you a case. When you see a case like that with 1, 2, 3 operations, 3 endovascular devices, and then have a huge aneurysm, which has the size of his heart, in an old man, and you think, well, I showed that case to Dr. Coselli, a friend of us, and he said, well, this will never expand. It's too thick. You can see here the new wall between the two lumens. But look what happened. We did 3 branch devices, and in 6 months. So what I'm saying here, that we do not know the behavior of this septal membrane because we are used to open surgery. Now it's a new world. We don't know the behavior. But I think with the case we have done, that they will expand just like that. And then we have this case with now I review this patient with 5-year follow-up, all the branches very well. So I hear another case with where they put like a petticoat technique. They put only the stent here in the abdominal portion and the device here in the thoracic portion. So the stent, the dissection stent rupture here. You can see the part of the upper part, and then divided, you lose the celiac trunk, although it has flow, and you have the right renal here. So we made a new plan with right renal upper here, so we can get from above, and we did. So here, could you run that video? Could you run that video? Thank you. So I think I have just 1 minute. Is that? Okay. Even that, I showed that and go straight to my conclusion, but you should see that because here is a thoracic device, and then you have a stent device in the aorta, and you can see that the patient developed a huge aneurysm. So, in my view, when you keep the flow in the false lumen, sooner or later the patient gonna develop an aneurysm or worse complications. Here you can see that this device that did nothing to help that patient. He has a huge aneurysm. The device is fractured. So I go ahead and look at that is the device inside the patient. So we replaced the whole thing. So again, this patient had a lot of interventions and it still developed a large aneurysm here. So we put a 4 inner branch device, and that's the flow study for him. And it was not difficult. It was a very nice case. This patient later developed an arch aneurysm. So we go ahead and I showed his picture, but I think the aortic dissection represents a major challenge to endovascular treatment. No single tactic for endovascular treatment applies to all cases. The stents combined with the free petticoat help in the process of remodeling the aortic thrombosis of the false lumen and re-expansion of the true lumen, provided there is no more communication between the two lumens in the visceral portion. Infrarenal, iliac are especially useful in acute procedures to facilitate future expansion of the true lumen. In the presence of multiple communications, occluding exhaustively search for all the communications essential to prevent aortic degeneration. This is the patient with an arch, and then we push, and Rinaldo here from San Rafael, 2 years ago, he helped me. So this guy has the whole thing excluded, and he's doing very well. So I'm gonna finish here, and thank you, and show here the Italy team jumping in Brazil. So.